explosive details of a letter that Shraddha Walkar wrote to the police in 2020 in which she reported her boyfriend Aaftab Poonawala. Now, the letter seems to be prescient. Walkar talked about how Aaftab threatens to kill her and cut her up into pieces and throw her away. She also talked about how Aaftab's family knew about the violence and the abuse that she was subjected to by her live-in partner. Vedant joining us at this point with the latest on that story. Vedant, horrifying that Shraddha knew all of this and continued to be with Aaftab, and she seems to have predicted not just the manner of her death but the disposal of her body. Is this finally going to be a bit of circumstantial evidence that the police can use to show that this was premeditated murder?
Well, absolutely, Ankita. This is going to be a huge evidence once verified by the Delhi police. Remember, the Delhi police sources have told us that they are in touch with the Mumbai police trying to verify this complaint. This complaint dates back to 23rd of November 2020. Now, that is exactly the time when Shraddha, in fact, also reached out to her friends saying that, she wants to reach out to the police and that she's being beaten up, she's being abused constantly. That's the time when, those chats also date back to. Now, this letter is extremely crucial because of the details that it carries. Remember, Shraddha says that Aaftab's parents were well aware of her situation, that they were living together and that, Aaftab used to beat her up and also threatened to kill her. In fact, she also says that Aaftab's parents used to visit them every weekend and they were well aware of the fact that she did not want to live with him. Now, that is crucial because that is something that she also said in her chats, with her friends, that she does not want to continue living with him, and that is something that she says in this letter as well. And also what is completely horrifying is that she said that Aaftab threatened to chop her body. That is exactly what he went on to do 2 years later. Now, what is also important to note here, Ankita, is the fact that this complaint, which is from 2 years ago, why was no action taken back then? Even though Aaftab's parents were aware, even though she reached out to the police, no action was taken. And, ultimately 2 years later, she was murdered. So this letter is going to be crucial because till now, remember, there are no eyewitnesses in the case. There's only Aaftab's confession, which is yet to be recorded before a magistrate. So this is going to be crucial because it is Shraddha's own complaint. And today, that polygraph test which will be conducted, Delhi police sources also telling us that this letter will be brought up in that polygraph test as well, because if it is corroborated both by Aaftab as well as this letter, then it's going to be a sort of a watertight case, and it's going to be established that Aaftab indeed murdered her and chopped her body into 35 pieces. So this letter now emerging, Delhi police in touch with the Mumbai police trying to verify that this complaint was in fact registered by Shraddha with the Mumbai police back in 2020, and it was 2 years later. Remember, Shraddha was murdered on the 18th of May in 2022. So nearly 2 years later, the murder happened, and she had in fact, as you rightly mentioned, almost predicted her murder because as we've been reporting, she had said that she's been in an abusive relationship. Even in those chats, she said that he continues to blackmail her, threaten her, and here she's very clearly saying that Aaftab had the intention to kill her. And another important detail in this letter is that Shraddha said that in this letter that both of them were living together because she wanted to marry him. Now, that is something that the police also claimed earlier, that Aaftab had in fact confessed to the police that there were problems over Shraddha's want to get married. And in this letter, Shraddha confirms that they were living together because she wanted to get married. However, he had been delaying it, and that there used to be repeated fights and scuffles between them, and Aaftab had the intention of killing and murdering her. So that intent bit is very important that this letter establishes. So, however, it is crucial that the Delhi police in fact verifies this letter with the Mumbai police for it to be treated as evidence. Ankita.
All right. Thanks very much indeed.